Welcome back, baseball fans. The 1973 or card set box for the 1972-75 carryover league, which starts next year. This is the we're continuing to look at the 1973 box, year 2 of the 4-year timeline. Just get a look our eyes on some cards that are potential keepers in the draft, plus also some cards of players as alternate cards. We've got their 72 or 74 cards in the league. We might want to consider renovating and moving into a 73 card. So we've done this for the American League already the last couple of weeks. So we're going to pick it up in the National League East and the National League Central, and then we'll call it for tonight. So we're going to start in the National League East, beginning with the Atlanta Braves. And we're going to look at, we'll see here that we'll have keepers in the front, and in the back of this are all the guys who are currently on their team in a different year. So their keepers are Hank Aaron, and yeah, not much discussion. This is going to be the card they move into, because this is last really tremendous year. And by last tremendous year, he's got to be 40, 41 years old or something like that. Look at that, in 73. And clearly, there's a step down in his last retiring years, 4 and 5. So this will be the card they move into. Marty Perez is a shortstop, and he's got a 275 card, and he's going to have to play out of position. He's more of a second baseman. They got Davey Johnson at second. Here, at least he has power versus lefties. It's up for debate. And then they acquired this guy, Walt Williams, in the offseason. Kind of replaced that Kurt Motton, Rico Carty role. All bat, not much glove. Here he's a kind of a spark plug, not an ace stealer, but good bat handler, C stealer. Full-time power and about a 288, 300 hitter, 289 hitter. He's got a couple good cards in the timeline. This might be one of them. And then after that, we already have a Carty card, and these guys are going to be gotten 72. Carty, Casanova, Negro. If we want to make these guys better, we could, but we have another analysis for that we do on Tuesdays, checking if a carry-on guy is worth being improved or not. And so we'll leave that there. We know House and Capper don't get any better. We have their best years cherry-picked for 74. So that's the Atlanta Braves. Next, go to the expansion Florida Marlins. Always fun. You never know what you're going to get with these guys, because they don't, these expansion teams, they don't have farm systems. They just get leftover guys from other teams. Willie Montanez is a fine first baseman. Often can hit lefties pretty well. Here he doesn't. Not the greatest card. He's got 4 years to consider. This one's a possibility. You'd like to get a little bit better batting average than that. Defense is good. Felipe Alu's getting long in tooth. I think here he's at the end of his rope, and he's probably better in 72. Yeah, probably. And Steve Arlen, they want to get this guy who can pitch on 3 days rest in 72. Here, he's still with the Padres, and it kind of falls apart for him. So probably not. Of that, maybe Montanez or nobody. And of course, these are their other guys, Ellie Rodriguez, Moda. And again, most of the time, these guys already have a better card than what you're looking at here. McRae's got a 300 card, for instance. We flash them up there every once in a while. We do an analysis to check, statistically at least, if they have a better card in a different year. The Mets. This is a team that had a lot of moving and shaking in the offseason. They had 8 guys they really wanted to keep, had to settle for 4, including trading for Rusty Staub as one of them. This is probably the Bud Harrelson they're going to take because of his oneness. This is going to be the only year in the 4 he's going to be a 1 again after missing it in 72. And the stick is on base is there. This is probably, 258 and a 1. Can't ask for much more than that out of the Bud. So yeah, that's probably the card. Staub, not exactly sure which year we're going to take. No power against lefties here. A lot of walks. 290, 279 with 15 homers is okay. Nothing that's write home about. Is this Seaver's best year, or was it 71? No homers at all against righties. That's great. That's an out, and you hope to get that out in 7 and 8 if you can. Homers against lefties. Starter 9. One of his top 5 years ever in 73. Now McGraw in 73 is starting to get a little ordinary. And by ordinary I mean 3.86 ERA in 119 innings instead of a $1.70. The fourth keeper, or that is the fourth keeper, yeah. So those are the 4 keepers. And knowing you should only take 2 guys from one season, Harrelson's going to be one of them. So it could be one of these other guys, or it could be a free agent. They took Bobby Darwin from the Twins. Duffy Dyer's theirs. Milner, not that great there. Matlack has his one more year out of that brilliant 72 card. Grody's got a 280 hitting card, and Lee Lacy's got one like that as well. So, next, Philadelphia, the Phillies, who surprised everybody by making it to the League Championship Series. And they weren't supposed to be this good this soon, but they are. The good news for Boa is he's got a bunch of onenesses. This oneness does not come with much of a stick. 211. Probably not this year. If it was the only year where he's a 1, maybe. But he's got a 300 year where he's a 1. This could be McCarver because he doesn't have full-time. He's not available in all 72, 3, 4, and 5 years. Meaning that Strat-O-Matic prints his card. They don't print it in these first editions all 4 years. So it could be this year because he's got power, of course, against righties. That's all you want your left-handed catcher to do, pretty much. Dobson with Baltimore has 2 really good years in 71 and 72. He's with the Yankees in 73, and he's just ordinary there. So I don't think so. Of this, it might just be McCarver or nobody. And then these are the other guys. Tony Taylor, not so much there. Callison's at the end of the line there. Harmon, not so much. Lefty, well, we've got his 27-win card, so we're not going to go to this one. Could bump Luzinski up, make him a 3 in left field. That'd be interesting. So this is a possibility to move Luzinski into this card. And again, we have Schmidt's 74 card in the league, so we don't need this one. And Denny Doyle, that's a nice card for Doyle, but we have a card in the league where he can hit lefties a little bit. Doesn't do it there. That's it for the National League East. I'm going to take a little break, and then we'll do the National League Central. All right, we're going to pick it up with the Chicago Cubs in the National League Central, beginning with Glenn Beckert. A good card for him. He's a 3. If he's a 2 in 72, I'd prefer that one. This one's he's okay here, hitting what, 255. Nothing spectacular. Kessinger is a 2. Has the good bat control there. Walks a little bit. Kessinger's pretty much giving you the same card every year, so it doesn't matter too much. Yeah. Here's Fergie. Now Fergie has to move into a new card, 72 or 73. Eventually he'll go to Texas. I don't want this one. I think 72 is the card we'll take. Then you still have Billy Williams. 72 card is still in place. That's better than this one, of course. Jim Hickman had a great year with his 72 card. Russell puts too many lefties on with that one. Sano got a 300 card. Cardinal could be an improvement, and that's an excellent card for him, 303. We can improve Cardinal perhaps. Hooten's always got some nice cards here, and somehow they let him slip away to the Dodgers, which wasn't a wise thing to do at the time. And that's your Cubs. Next up, we've got the Big Red Machine. Cincinnati Reds. 75 is their big year, so we know they got some nice players from that year. 73, Rose wins the MVP. We have his card. For the first time ever, we have a card, or we've seen 72 Morgan, but we can say that we can get Joe Morgan on the Reds with a card, and this could be the one, though we know 75 and 76 are his best years. But this one would work as well if for some reason we didn't do the obvious. Tony Perez, now I would say this is probably his best year in the early 70s with the Reds. Beyond 70. 70 he was fantastic. Then 71 too wasn't that great, but 73, the batting average is there with the home runs. Gullett and Billingham will be the next two guys up for bids, and Gullett looks pretty darn good with this card. On 3 days rest, 18-game winner, and then they made the deal to get Jack Billingham as well. Starter 8, this could be Billingham's best year, and you know what? These guys, of course, were teammates on the Reds in 73, and template-wise, second best ERA on the team, fifth best ERA on the team. So I think Billingham probably gets the nod over Gullett if I had to pick one of the two in this particular year. We have Bench's 72 MVP card for one more year. Bobby Tolan's starting to lose it here by this card. Bourbone's card is okay. He's alright, nothing special, spectacular. Carroll, vulnerable to lefties, you don't want that one. And Geronimo's already hitting 281 with a card we have in 74. We got a Fred Norman card acquired in the offseason as well, as those Reds try and build that pitching staff up to work with that pitch hitting that's already there. So of this lot, I think I'm going to wait for Perez and maybe Billingham might be the pair, these guys, because I got some more flexibility with Gullett and Wergen finding a better year. Don't have to make these decisions now, folks. The draft's not till March, but it's fun to scout it out early, get things organized. The Pirates, the world champion Pirates, they won that series. And Willie Stargell, yeah, I think this is the one. Of the 4 years, 72 through 5, this is probably the closest as you're going to get to 71. Homer and average-wise, almost identical. Walks, maybe not. 43 doubles, don't sneeze at that. He's a 4-4 now, defensively. You're going to have to live with that, though. Not a whole lot you can do. And the -4 arm could come into use. Yeah, this is probably the card you go after. Stennett still cannot give you glove, so throw in the outfield. Well, you've got enough outfielders, so that's not going to work either. 242, I don't think so. The other guys, the other keepers, I believe, were Clemente, and I forgot who the other guy was, but Clemente, of course, will be picked in 72, his last year. Oliver's got a better card than that one. Sanguine's got a 299 card. It's 282. We got Hebner hitting 300 and a 3 at third base. So we want that. Moose has got a nice card in 72. That's also okay in 73. Justy's got his best card ever in 72. This is still good in 73. Good, so that'll be good for the next couple of years. And Hernandez is good for a few years. Struggled in the World Series. Both guys ERAs, Hernandez and Justy. It's funny, but literally these guys flipped templates 1 and 2. They still were the top 2 pitchers on Pittsburgh, but they weren't quite as good as they were in 72. A little worse here in 73, so that's all right. Of that lot, only Stargell pops. And lastly tonight, we're going to do the St. Louis Cardinals. They fought valiantly trying to get in the playoffs, and now they have to realize that the Joe Torre card is not available anymore. They moved into, they just got John Kennedy to be a utility infielder, and this is not the year. I think 72 is the year they'll take. This, however, could be, you either go with this card from Brock because of the walks and on base and batting average and the fact that he crushes lefties, or you go with a AAA card of 74, though I don't know how much more effective a AAA is going to be in my league based on the rules for holding those runners. It's not going to amount to a significant advantage for Lou. This could be the Torre you take. Forget the defense at this point of his career. We just want a bat and versatility. He's got corners. 287 and 13. Big drop off from 366. But they didn't have a first baseman last year. They had Bill Sadakis, Bob Berta, and Reggie Smith, all kind of like all hands on deck at first. You could just make Joe Torre your everyday first baseman and bring up maybe Kenny Reitz to play third base at a gold glove level. And Sonny Siebert, trying to run this guy back, a guy who's always had good luck for me in Strat, going back to the late 60s with Boston. He actually went to Texas, and then from Texas he went to the Cardinals. I think he's got a better year next year with the Cardinals, though. This year against righties is good. Don't like the starter 5, though. We're not going to take this card. A righty gets knocked around by lefties in a starter 5 is not valuable. Sizemore, kind of a sideways move here. Same kind of thing. They acquired Curtis from Boston. And this card can pitch on 3 days rest. They could bump him up, since Siebert can't pitch on 3 days rest. Simmons already has a card like this hitting 300. So that hits 310. They got a nice Steve Barber card. This one's okay. Gibson's got his best card at 72. Still good in 73. Doesn't pitch on 3 days rest, and that's probably the last good year. He'll pitch through to 75 if you just want him to be on the Cardinals. We got McBride with a better card that hits lefties well, over 300. This is 302, but just 63 at bats. So of that lot, I kind of like this Lou Brock card. I don't like the defense, but he's out there the whole time. Find a defensive guy for him in late inning replacement. But a lefty who can lead off against lefties like that is great. Plus, he still has the walks against righties. Like I said, I don't know about that AAA thing. I don't know. I'm not disliking being a AAA stealer. I'll take it, but I don't know how many more steals it's going to get me. So that's it. For the National League East and North, we continue with this box. Next time, we'll finish up the rest of the National League. Maybe take a peek at the waiver retired and the rookies who haven't been in the league yet. Thanks for checking out this series, and we'll see you next time.